Today on the newscast, an incredible archaeological find in Israel's biblical heartland of Samaria, the oldest Hebrew inscription bearing the name of God, dating back to the time of Joshua. That's next. Hey folks, Erick Stakelbeck here. Welcome to the Watchman Newscast. We've had so much breaking news in recent weeks with Russia, Iran, Israel, and much more that I've had to delay this story. But today is the day for some biblical archaeology because we all need encouragement. And what could be more encouraging and exciting than the discovery of a 3,400-year-old tablet in Israel that bears the first known Hebrew inscription of the name of God, Yahweh. To have such an incredible artifact uncovered atop Mount Ebal, at the very place where Joshua likely built an altar to the Lord as the Israelites entered the Promised Land, is absolutely stunning and one of the most significant archaeological discoveries in years. Now, we're going to get to that story in a minute, but up first, like Joshua and those early Israelites once did, Jews around the world will observe Passover beginning on April 15th. But this year's Passover will be extremely difficult for some, including Ukrainian Jewish refugees who've left everything behind because of war. A great organization called Meir Panim that we're proud to partner with here on the Watchman Newscast is stepping into the gap and helping these refugees at this very important time of the year. Here's more on what they're doing and how you can help. Passover is the holiday of freedom. It marks the Jewish people leaving their suffering in Egypt to be a free people in the land of Israel. Today, another group of Jewish people are fleeing their suffering to return to Zion. I'm talking about the Jewish refugees of Ukraine. Just like the ancient Israelites, many of them had to flee in exile, leaving everything behind. That's why many Jewish refugees from Ukraine can't afford to eat this Passover holiday. But you can change that by supporting Meir Panim. Meir Panim is Israel's premier restaurant-style soup kitchen, providing warm meals for Israelis who can't afford them. This year, the team at Meir Panim is working to ensure that each refugee celebrates their freedom with a festive Seder meal. Don't let them go hungry this Passover. Show your support by donating to Meir Panim today. Folks, I see partnering with Meir Panim as fulfilling that biblical mandate laid out in Genesis 12:3 to bless Israel and the Jewish people. So I encourage you to support their great work. Let's go now to my report about that ancient biblical curse tablet that was found atop Mount Ebal. Take a look. Deep in Israel's biblical heartland of Samaria lies the ancient and mysterious site known as Joshua's altar. The Bible says it was built atop Mount Ebal by the Israelites some 3,400 years ago as a way to honor God upon their entrance into the Promised Land. Now this ancient mountain has revealed one of the most significant archaeological discoveries in years, what may be the oldest Hebrew inscription ever found in Israel, a folded tablet dating back to the late Bronze Age and bearing one of the Hebrew names for God, Yahweh. Archaeologist Scott Stripling and a team from the Associates for Biblical Research uncovered the tablet in late 2019 and have began releasing their findings after nearly 3 years of painstaking research. They say the location of the find only adds to its importance. In both the book of Deuteronomy and the book of Joshua, Mount Ebal is described as a place where those who broke God's law would be cursed. The ancient Hebrew inscription found on the tablet drives that point home.
I immediately recognized what we had. We call this a defixio, or a cursed tablet, because many of these are known. We know what they are. Frankie recognized it, I recognized it, and Abigail Levitt, who was the assistant director there with me, we all knew that we had a cursed tablet from the site of the curse mentioned in the Bible, so this was terribly exciting. We ultimately were able to find a lab in Prague that had expertise. Thousands of scans were done on the tablet in 2 different settings, so that then with extensive post-processing of those images, we were finally able to begin to see letters emerge.
According to Stripling, those 40 ancient Hebrew letters bear an ominous warning that confirms the biblical account of Mount Ebal. Cursed, 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 cursed by the God Yahweh. You will die cursed. Cursed, you will surely die. Cursed by Yahweh, cursed, cursed, cursed.
On a scale of 1 to 10, this is a 10. It doesn't get any bigger than this. We talk about verisimilitude, or a consistency between what we read in a text and what we find in the material culture, that correlation. It doesn't get any better than this. This is what if the text were true, this is what you would anticipate finding, and indeed it is what we found.
Stripling told Jim Scudder Jr. of Grace TV that the inscription represents a legally binding document, a covenant between the ancient Israelites and the God of Israel.
When you make an oath in the late Bronze Age, we have many examples of these. Okay, in the Hittite treaties, for example, they follow a 5-point covenant structure. And this is what the Mosaic covenant is. It has a 5-point structure to it. Point 4 is blessings and curses, or God swears with an oath to bless you if you keep the terms of the covenant, Deuteronomy 27 and 28, to curse you if you don't.
To find the name of God written twice on such an ancient artifact is historic.
So you have a Yod, you have a He, and then you have a Vav. And together, this is Yahweh. And this is the first time we have this in Israel itself. And from this early time period, this is mind-boggling.
One of the big questions Stripling and his team still have is who wrote the inscription on the tablet? Could it have been Joshua himself?
Could there be a titular head, Joshua's scribe? Because God tells Joshua to write these things on Mount Ebal. So does Joshua write it himself, Joshua ben Nun? We can't say that he didn't. Did he ask his scribe to do it? If so, then it's titular. That means it represents the whole nation. They're binding themselves.
The discovery of the Mount Ebal tablet came years after an Israeli archaeologist named Adam Zertal made the initial discovery of Joshua's altar. The tablet was found among discarded materials from those early excavations at the altar site. Stripling and his team made the find through a technique called wet sifting, then sent it on to Prague, where a team of experts deciphered it. He says it's a stunning example of science and archaeology validating the truth of the Bible.
The ramifications of this are going to reverberate for generations. Do you have a reliable biblical text? Was it written at an early period? So on many levels, in academia and scholarship, on a popular faith level, this will reverberate for a long time.
The Associates for Biblical Research team will release more on its findings about the tablet later this year in a scientific journal. They just confirmed that there is also ancient writing on the outside of the tablet, so there may be more exciting announcements on the way. Incredible stuff. If you like that story and want to see more like it, be sure to tune in to our new nightly TBN News show called Centerpoint every night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time and 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time on TBN. Cutting edge news from a biblical perspective for such a time as this. Be sure to check it out. Hey, thanks so much for joining us today here on the Watchman Newscast. Until tomorrow, God bless you. And remember, never hold your peace. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the Watchman Newscast. If you enjoyed this episode and want to see more, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, click subscribe, and tap the bell icon to turn on notifications for new Watchman Newscast episodes every weekday.